Game 3 of the NBA Finals. For the first time in 12 years, the finals shipped up to Boston, and the Celtics took full control of home court in Game 3. Boston beat Golden State 116 to 100. In Game 4, with their backs against the wall, Stephen Curry, Golden State knew that they could not go down 3-1 back to San Francisco for Game 5 on Monday night. Down 2-1, Curry put the Warriors on his back. An epic performance. A masterpiece. 43 points by Chef Curry. Finally, in these finals, a close game. Back and forth, Golden State and Boston went. In the fourth quarter, Golden State finally won a fourth quarter in these finals. In the last 5 minutes of regulation, they outscored the Celtics 17-3. In the end, they outscored them by 9, taking Game 4, 107-97. These finals are all squared even now at 2 games apiece. The pressure in these finals has risen to a higher level. At the end of Game 5, who will have a 3-2 series lead in these finals, heading back to Boston for Game 6 on Thursday night. From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sports. Represent busting up a nation, bring to you our Nation Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Ezra Vickery, Joey Thornton, Kevin Rory, Randy Giron, and Stephen Wyand.
All right, here we are. Here we are, folks. We're all here. We are live. Let's do this shit. We got a busy show ahead of us. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show. I am Ezra here, of course, with my crew here tonight. We're going to get them introduced shortly. First of all, thank you for watching last week's episode. Of course, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel here. You can find us on YouTube. We're getting close to that 100 subscriber mark. Get us there. So we can make sure content is easier for you guys to find, and for us, it makes it easier for us to share content with you. So we got that. You can also follow us on our Twitter account, of course, Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/OurNation Sports Show, and Instagram.com/OurNation Sports Show. You can also follow the Nation's Corner at discord.gg/Nation's Corner to interact every time you want to talk about wrestling or even interact with the show. You can also go to the Nation's Corner on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube for the live show, which happens Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube. And also, don't forget to follow my cosplay group, Too Sweet Cosplay, on all of our socials. And, of course, on our YouTube channel, we'll be posting some stuff probably from Forbidden Door coming up, so please check that out. And also the upcoming con appearances, too, which we'll be announcing very shortly. And, of course, follow our individual socials, which will be at the bottom of this video description. Now that all the important details are out of the way, let's go ahead and let's get this ball rolling and introduce our crew. Of course, with us, we're going to do it a little different today. Well, not really. We're keeping it the same. Fuck it. We're going to start off with our buddy here, Mr. Randy Giron. Randy, what's going on, dude?
Hey, what's going on? Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. Been a pretty good NBA Finals. Can't wait to talk about it. Lots of stuff going on in the sports world, and just glad to be here. Give a shout out to my buddy Todd if he's watching tonight, and let's go.
Absolutely. Yep, let's go. And let's bring in our next guy. Here he is. He is our Atlanta Braves #1 fan. and the only fan that actually says Roll Tide in his name and actually believes it. And that's just me being Indiana and Ohio State fan. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Joseph Thornton. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. And first off, Ezra, whenever your Ohio State Buckeyes win a national championship game against Alabama, then we'll talk. Second of all, I am in high spirits as an Atlanta Braves fan because my boys, even though we lost Ozzy Albies last time to a fractured foot, we have won 12 games in a row, looking for 13 in a row. So let's get it tonight. Let's go.
Absolutely. Going to be a big night. Going to be a big night for Atlanta. But let's keep going to our next person here on the show, and that is, of course, the man rocking that Golden State gear, that Golden State background. His team up 3-1 in the NBA Finals with Game 6 looming on Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, KR Kevin Rory. What's up, dude?
What's going on, everybody? It's good Tuesday. Now, I admit last week when the Warriors were down 2-1, kind of had me on the edge of my seat, a little nervous, but feels a lot better being up 3-2 than down 2-1. And all I got to say is, let's go Warriors.
All right, here we go. And then finally, of course, my heavy metal brother from another mother from North Kakalaki, man who's produced videos who get more hits than a Lamb of God single, a man whose voice is real, unlike Kiss's vocals. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stephen Wyand. Stephen, what's up?
I appreciate the compliments because yes, these are live vocals, man. But this ain't no lip sync vocals. I got to keep it real. Can't be faking that bullshit. And by the way, the new Lamb of God song is absolute fire. It's really good, and can't wait to talk about the NBA Finals with you guys and all of the great sports that's going on around the world. So let's go.
Let's get right into it, guys. And what a past two games has been since we last joined you guys. Let's talk about that game. Let's get into Game 4 first. We got to talk about that. And what a performance from Steph Curry. Absolutely lights out. 43 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists in 41 minutes. An absolute just clinic. Masterpiece clinic on by one of the best sharpshooters, if not the best sharpshooter in the entire league. And man, we can't forget about the contributions. Of course, Klay Thompson with 18, Jordan Poole with 14, Wiggins with 17. We can't forget about those guys. And even on the Celtics side, Jason Tatum 23, 11, and 6, 21, 6, and 2 for Jaylen Brown, and 18, 4, and 5 for Marcus Smart, and 16 for White as well. So pretty good showing from their core starters and even their bench, but still wasn't enough to stop the Warriors from getting a 10-point lead and winning with that 10-point lead, which, by the way, both games did end with a 10-point lead, Game 4 and 5, which is very interesting. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about Game 4, guys, and that epic performance from Steph. We'll start with, of course, with Kevin. Why not? Kevin, talk about Game 4, your thoughts on the game itself, and I want to ask you about this too. Steph had a big performance, 43 points, and they won the game. But do you feel like that maybe in that game, despite Steph's big performance and all that maybe the other players, maybe a Klay Thompson, maybe Jordan Poole, maybe they I won't say underperformed, but maybe they just didn't have a good night at the court?
And you know what? That's very accurate. But you got to look, and Steven knows, you guys know, it depends on where you're playing at. That Boston TD Garden is the equivalent of Madison Square Garden in the 90s. It's the equivalent of somewhere special, a hostile environment. You've seen the fans screaming, "Fuck Draymond," literally how the hostility it is. And a young player like Jordan Poole, you can't expect basically a second-year star to come in the game and give you 20 in a hostile environment like that. Klay is still trying to get back to where he should be, obviously. But when I look at this performance from Stephen Curry, You talk about Jordan 61 in the Mecca. You talk about Kobe Bryant's in 2010 NBA Finals 23 consecutive points in Game 5. You talk about like games like that. LeBron James, Miami Heat against the Boston Celtics Game 6 in the Garden. You talk about that, and you look at Steph Curry, and he's on that same level. I mean, for the guy to come out there and just hit 3 after 3 after 3. And they want no wide open shots. He was hitting them in Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year's grill. He was going shot for shot on the defensive player of the year. And at the end, he got a little bit of help in the fourth. But my thing about that is everybody talks about experience is overrated. It's not. It might have been overrated in game 1 and 2, but you know what? That championship pedigree is biting the Celtics in the ass, because in the fourth quarter, when the pressure's on, same in game 5, and I know we're going to talk about it, but both game 4 and game 5, you know what happened? Boston folded under pressure. They cannot play under pressure when you got guys like Steph Curry, Draymond, who game 4 was oblivious, obviously, but you got guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Steve Kerr, guys who've been there, and they're calm, cool, collected under pressure, under the bright lights. They make a run. They go up 10. The Celtics, they don't know what to do. They see Steph's getting jiggy with it in the fourth, and they're just like, oh, we're going to go jack up threes. Jason Tatum's going to stay out there instead of getting their offense. He's going to jack up threes. Al Horford's going to jack up threes. So, I mean, it's crazy, man, because Steph Curry is now solidified himself with a win, obviously, has solidified himself as finals MVP. Games 1 through 4, he is averaging 34.3 points per game. That is absolutely ridiculous. And there's been even talk, and only LeBron James can be the only other player. There's been talk on ESPN that if the Warriors go on to lose a series, Steph Curry still should be the finals MVP.
Yep.
That's how you know you're dominating. And all I got to say is,
Kevin, I hate to interrupt you, but I'm glad you mentioned LeBron, because Joe Thornton shared something in the chat that says LeBron James says he would join the Golden State Warriors if they wanted to trade them.
You know what? Hey, hold on, LeBron fans. Hold on, Bron fans. Let me tell you something like it is there, player. I want Andrew Wiggins over LeBron James as of right now. The way Wiggins has played in game 4 and 5, fucking give me Andrew Wiggins. Sorry. But no, Steph Curry has a legendary performance. And Tatum and Brown, again, inconsistent, smart, and defensively not so good. He's getting killed. And my thing is, I don't know. I love Ime Udoka, don't get me wrong, but I don't understand his defensive schemes. Curry is torching your ass, and you still have Al Horford and Robert Williams hanging back at the free throw line and drop coverage. Curry's getting wide open looks after the screen. He's killing you. They had to fix that. But I don't like the fact that Ime Udoka and all the Celtics fans run around talking about, well, if we would have closed better offensively in the fourth, we'd be up 3-1. You know what? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Don't make a damn, because to be honest, Golden State can say the same damn thing. If they closed out in game 1 like they're supposed to, they'd be up 3-1 for Christ's sakes. So it's just a shoulda, woulda, coulda. It didn't happen. You folded. It is what it is.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at this performance, I mean, from Stephen Curry, you know, just the way he played, he came out there with a killer instinct mentality and put that Warriors team on his back. I mean, that was his LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant game of a lifetime. I mean, 3 after 3, shot after shot, matching the Celtics, you know, just when they were down by 5, you know, he came back with a 3. And, you know, and then when they were up by 3, you know, with about 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, I mean, Curry, the ice water in his veins, just took that 3 and drained it and stunned that Boston crowd into stunned silence. They were watching a church. You know, they were as quiet as a church mouse on a Sunday morning. I mean, just the way Curry shot that shot with confidence, pulled up, bang, as Mike Breen called it. and drained it, and just unbelievable. I mean, if he, like I've said it last week on the show, and I'll say it here again, even if Boston somehow finds a way to win these finals, I don't care, win or lose, Stephen Curry deserves the MVP Finals trophy. That's how great he has been in these finals. I mean, and Klay Thompson was pretty good in game 4, had 18 points, hit some crucial threes at critical times in that fourth quarter.
He did.
And Andrew Wiggins was absolutely a critical pivotal piece in game 4. And we're going to get into it also in game 5. I mean, 17 points, 16 boards in that game. I mean, Wiggins was incredible. At the time, that was a career high, and just the way this Warriors team has now been playing the last couple of games. I mean, Poole has been pretty solid. Wiggins has been balling out. Klay Thompson has finally shown up, but he's not. Klay has had his moments. I mean, in game 3, he scored 25. Like you said, Kevin, on the dime. He said he's going to drop 25, and he did. Klay finally showed up in the last couple of games, and I think it might show up again Thursday night, and might have an even better game.
Game 6 Klay.
Exactly. And that's the one thing that scares me, for the Celtics is, I mean, can they win? Can they do it? Yes, but they have to be consistent. They can't turn the ball over. In game 4, they had over 12, 13 turnovers, and that's what lost in the game. And also in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, their offense got very stagnated. I mean, just jacking up threes. Think about it, guys. When they were moving the ball around the perimeter and getting the shots into the paint and getting baskets in the paint and just making the Warriors work on that defensive side of the ball, they were getting fouls, and they were in the penalty the rest of the fourth quarter for game 4. So why are you standing around the perimeter jacking up threes when if the shots aren't going down? Go to a plan B. And that's what the one thing that the Celtics didn't do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said you're exactly right. I remember being on Twitter during that game when we were in the penalty with 8 minutes left in the quarter, and I'm like, oh God, all they have to do is drive and draw contact. But the worst thing is they were only trying to jack up threes and go one-on-one with just anybody. Like JJ Redick said, it's ridiculous because they were trying to jack up threes and match 3-point shooting with the greatest shooter to ever live.
And that's the greatest backcourt
Michael Jordan
duo.
and the Bulls trying to go 3 for 3 against Reggie Miller. It's not smart. Go through your offense. Come on, Boston.
Exactly. And that's what's been killing them. I mean, the turnovers have been killing them the last couple of games, and that's why they're in the predicament that they're in.
Definitely. The crazy thing is a lot of them were dumb plays by Boston, making dumb decisions, but we still can't completely count out that Warriors defense. Like Ezra mentioned in the pre-show, Draymond holding Jaylen Brown of 1 of 14 shooting is absolutely insane. And yet again, the big time player, Andrew Wiggins, has been doing it on both ends of the floor. He held his own against Luka Doncic, making it their life a living hell. He held his own against Ja Morant down there and Tyus Jones and that crew. And he's holding his own against Jason Tatum. It looks good on paper. Only scored 23 points, but you know what? It took him 25 shots. That's horrible. And Steph Curry's over here scoring 43 points on 25 shots. That's the difference.
It's insane.
Jason Tatum and Jeff Van Gundy mentioned it, and it's a good point. Anybody that watches film would realize this, or watches the game and knows the game. We watched in 2011. How did the Mavericks beat the Heat? They made LeBron go left. Because why? LeBron couldn't do nothing with his left hand. He can't drive to the left.
Nope.
Same thing this year. What we've noticed is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, when they're forced to dribble left, they turn the ball over, don't make smart decisions, and they're not good finishing at the rim left-handed. And Golden State's done a great job. And here's the big key. Gary Payton II, since his minutes got up and he's been playing the whole fourth quarter in game 3, 4, and 5, he's been a tremendous defensive playmaker for that team. He's guarding Jaylen Brown, and then when Brown gets past him, Draymond's got Jaylen Brown, making life a living hell for them.
And Gary Payton II last night was incredible, had 15 points in game 5.
Plus 16, plus minus.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, excellent.
Joe, your thoughts?
Well, what can I say? Golden State was down 2-1. They knew what they had to do. Stephen Curry knew what he had to do. And Stephen Curry was like, you know what, guys? We're down 2-1. We're here in Boston. I don't want to be down 3-1. So let's go out and show these Celtics what we're made of. And that's exactly what they did. And Stephen Curry was, of course, the driving force behind the wheel. I mean, the guy, like I said, was putting up shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. And every shot he was putting up pretty much was finding the bottom of the net. That's why he went out, that's why he was able to go out and have one of the best games of his life, scoring 43 points, which, like you said, Steven, was his Michael Jordan, was his Kobe Bryant game. Not sure about LeBron because he sucks more than the Dallas Cowboys do on a football field. But I digress. But anyway, Stephen Curry, he just went out and played the best game of his life. And the Warriors deserved to win that game every step of the way. And Andrew Wiggins, like y'all said, was finally able to step up, scoring 17 points and grabbing 16 boards. I mean, Wiggins was, as compared to Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and obviously Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins has been seen as an afterthought after the first 3 games of the series. But game 4, he was like, you know what? I'm tired of being seen as somewhat of an afterthought on this team. I'm going to go out and I'm going to give him my all. And that's exactly what he's done, not only in game 4, but in game 5, which we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But Andrew Wiggins is really stepping up his game. And the fact that he's not afraid to attack the basket and go out to defensive boards, which is something he might need, which attacking the basket might want to be something he teaches Draymond how to do, because Draymond, he certainly doesn't know how to attack the basket anymore. But what more can I say? The Warriors went out and played the best game of their life, and the fact that they tied the series up in Boston 2-2, going into game 5, it was a masterpiece.
I know what you get. I was gonna say, if you didn't know what to say, I knew what to say. MDK all fucking day. Oh no!
Oh my lord!
What am I saying at?
Wrong show. Wrong show. No, you're Randy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that all the times that the Warriors have been in the finals, that this was Steph Curry's coming out, more or less. They've had all the good games, and he hasn't really had to do that to where he's got to really show up and do it. But I think that's what Golden State needed in this series, was finally someone to show up and say, I'm gonna put you on my back and let's go. And he did that, and this is cementing his legacy as the best shooter and best scorer of a lot of the guys I've seen. I like Steph Curry's got nothing but respect for me, but Boston just has in the game 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. I'm sorry. They keep coming back, but they can't hold the lead. They show drive and determination to get back in the game, and that seems to be it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's wild to see. They're, like I said, they're fighting to get back in it, and seem to be content with that almost. And but it's all in the like you guys were saying, the championship pedigree, to know when to hold them down and when put the clamps down, pretty much on what Boston's doing, and whether or not Boston really wanted to keep going. Golden State was going to shut it down anyways. So
yeah,
and that's something that you brought up that I actually wanted to say, is that we're giving Steph Curry and the Warriors all this credit, but we got to credit the toughness of Boston, the ability. Yes, they've had some, not very good performances on certain players, and yes, they haven't been able to get wins. But you gotta commend them for getting as close as they are. I mean, Jason Tatum in Game 5 nearly put the Warriors almost put the Warriors close. It was getting there. Jason Tatum was carrying the load, and he was doing a damn good job at it. He was shooting great, making plays when it counted. But in the end, the Warriors were just, like I said, the Warriors were just too damn good at that point. And it was just, you know?
Go ahead. But you know what, Ezra? Here's my thing. I agree, and I'm going to give Boston the credit they deserve. They got the best defense in the last decade by far. It's not but that's what makes it more glorious for Stephen Curry, because he's not out there getting wide open looks and just, I'm getting wide open looks. People, they're having brain farts and leaving me open. Steph Curry's making tough shots. He's under pressure, under contested shots. He's draining them. Because I was taught as a player, good defense gets beat by better offense any day of the week. Steph Curry's just got better offense. Any other player would not do that against the Celtics defense. Their defense is really tough. And I'd like to say one other thing about the game 4 is I got to give Steve Kerr his kudos. He's one hell of a coach, and it goes to show. Your star player, Draymond Green, has been struggling offensively, at least, in this series, and Steve Kerr made the right move in crunch time. He benched Draymond Green for half of the fourth quarter to go smaller with Kevon Looney at the 5 and get to be able to get rebounds, but he went smaller to open up the floor offensively more. And it's so tough to do. You go try to be a coach and try to bench a guy with that kind of personality, with someone who's outspoken, who's fired up, who's a fireball like Draymond. That's like Phil Jackson benching Dennis Rodman. It wouldn't have went over well, not at all. But Steve Kerr did it. Draymond understand, and the championship level pedigree of Draymond understand. I could cause a scene, and we could have all kind of chaos or all kind of chaos in the locker room. But you know what he said? No, I get it. I sucked this game. I was piss poor. I deserved to get benched. And what we had going was working, and they rode it, and it got them a win in crunch time. Big shout out to Steve Kerr. What a coaching job.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and let's transition over to game 5. Let's talk about that. Another 10-point win for Golden State, putting the series at 3-2 with game 6 on Thursday. Another great performance from the Warriors. A lot more even scoring in game 5. If we look at the stats real quick on the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, though, had his best game of the series, his best game of the playoffs in general. 26 points, 13 rebounds, double-double, 2 assists. Klay Thompson, 21, 3, and 2. Steph Curry with a low game compared to his usual, but because of the step up from Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry didn't need to do another 43-point performance.
Nope.
Gary Payton II had 15 and 5. Jordan Poole had 14. So it was the only players that really didn't score much were Green and Otto Porter Jr., who only had 2 points in 15 minutes. But outside of that, Warriors came in, and like I said, it was a close game. Jason Tatum, man, put that team on his back, 27, 10, and 4. But then also Marcus Smart, 23 and 2, 18, 9, and 4 for Jaylen Brown. Williams III only had 10, but he also had 8 boards. And then Al Horford with a very low game compared to his standards. I mean, yes, he is an older player, but 9 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double, but a very low double-double compared to what we usually see from him. And we talked about, like I said, Jason Tatum, on how he basically put this team so close to the point where they could have either tied or taken the lead. But like I said, Steph Curry and company were just better offense. Like you said, Kevin, better offense beats defense any day of the week. And that's what happened. And you want to talk about, here's a stat that I mentioned to you on the pre-show, and this is a big one here. Here's the thing: when Jaylen Brown is guarded by Draymond Green, he is 1 of 14 from 3-point range. That's a big stat. That's a big stat.
Yes, it
Big
is.
stat. But let's go ahead and let's go around the horn here, kind of similar. Kevin, go ahead, lead it off. Since this is your playoffs, anyways. Let's talk about Game 5. What were your thoughts on Game 5 and the performances of the Warriors and the Celtics?
Just goes back to the championship experience that Golden State has. While Curry was carrying this Warriors team for games 1 through 4, everybody, yet again, the haters and all the naysayers, Kendrick Perkins, Curry ain't got no help. Curry ain't going to do it by itself. But you know what happened? Wiggins came to play. They looked at each other and said, okay, Curry, you got our back. Game 5, we got yours, brother. We're going to go out there and ball out for you. Klay Thompson even said it in the press conference. And after Game 4, he said, look, the heart on this guy is unbelievable. He's one of the most down-to-earth, outright. He plays the game the right way. We love Steph, man. He said, you know what, God, we got to help him out Monday night. We got to. And he knew the assignment. Klay Thompson came in the fourth and balled his ass off with big shots. Wiggins had another spectacular games on both ends of the floor. And like you said, Ezra, it don't show up in the stat sheet because it shows Draymond only scored 8 points. But there's a difference with the points he scores compared to, like, his slump. He's the normal Draymond in Game 5 that we've known and grown to be accustomed to because he doesn't have to score. It's just the fact, is he going to be aggressive? Is he going to attack the rim like he did? And he did. Not everything's going to fall, but it opens up the floor. It gets guys like Wiggins open looks, Klay Thompson, when Draymond's aggressive. And then when he gets it going on offense, passing and getting it going, his defense steps up. He's obviously Defensive Player of the Year. He's all NBA defense. He got 2 steals early in the game, and it fired up the crowd. It got the crowd going to get them an early 12, 14-point lead. He got a couple blocks on Tatum. He, like you said, he shut Jaylen Brown down from deep. It's just the little things that don't show up in the stat sheet is what makes Draymond. He's the Dennis Rodman of this team. That's his normal stat line, 8, 7, and 6 or whatever, something like that it was, his normal stat line. That's good enough. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. But my thing is, Boston, come on, man. I understand you're frustrated at the referees, but goddamn, dude, the refs are horrible on both sides. Watch the game. Curry, I don't want to backtrack, but in Game 4, he hit that shot with Tatum on his side. That's a foul all day. That's a 4-point play. They didn't call it. Did Steph get up crying? No. He went back there and he hustled back on defense. Tatum gets stripped and he's over there fussing with the refs. Whoa, want the foul. While on the other end, Gary Payton sprinting the floor for a wide open layup. That's the difference.
Yep.
That's not championship plays. That's something you do in the regular season. And that's the difference of this Celtics team and this Warriors team. Boston is going to be good for years to come. They just got to figure out how to play championship level basketball. You can't let the games be decided by referees. You got to go out and make a fucking play. You got to go dunk the ball. You got to make a play on your own. You can't leave the game in the hands of the officials because we've seen over years in any sport how many times officials fuck up a call or just horrible because you expect them to make the calls. It's just not going to happen. And from what I've seen is yet again, Boston fought their way back. It's like, but Golden State is taking that game and like Game 4, they're taking that game like a 10-round fight in boxing. They got punched in the mouth. Did Golden State fall on the floor panicking and crying? No, Golden State took that punch. They got back up and they knocked Boston flat on their ass. And for Boston, and a young team like the Celtics, this is very demoralizing because not only is it their first time this season losing back-to-back games, but it's also Steph Curry shoots 0 for 9. That's his first game in 223 games of not hitting a three-pointer. That is crazy because you got guys like Ben Simmons who couldn't hit a three-pointer in 223 games. Not one game. But Steph Curry being held 0 for 9, and Boston sold out. They went their ass off to face guard Steph, said he's not going to get the ball. He's not going to do nothing. But he got the ball, and some were good looks, but Boston did a good job defensively. But that ain't why he was 0 for it. Because let's be honest, Steph just didn't have it. Like Steve Kerr said, hey, he had it. He was flaming hot 4 games. It's bound to happen. Reggie Miller went cold. Ray Allen's been cold. It happens when you shoot the ball so well. You have a game where it's cold. Yeah. And it's just good because they had guys like Wiggins, Clay, Jordan Poole, who was amazing at that third. That's what put the knife in Boston's chances in their spirit. That third quarter buzzer beater by Jordan Poole literally put the knife in Boston's throat because after that, it seemed like Boston couldn't be the same after. The start of the fourth, Clay came in there and torched them. And then you had Jordan Poole torching them. Andrew Wiggins was getting what he wanted. Draymond came in and played great. Boston just, yet again, when it was time for them to step up, they folded. And that goes back to their lack of experience. They reminded me of a young 2007's Cleveland Cavaliers team against that experienced Spurs team where they just fold. They didn't know what they were doing. And that's what it reminds me of.
Also, it also reminds me, Kevin, of the 09 Magic against the 09 Lakers in the finals. I mean, inexperience will pretty much loses you these championships. I mean, and when you look at game 5, I mean, in game 5, Golden State started piping hot. 24-8 was the score in the first quarter. And on top of that, the Celtics started out the game not with a field goal, not with a missed field goal either, but with a turnover. And that was the downward slope that always played the Celtics in these finals. For the second game, second game in these finals, they had 18 turnovers for 22 points by Golden State. I mean, Jason Tatum did have a pretty solid game on the stats, 27 points, 10 rebounds, all that stuff. That looks good on paper. But see, here's what gets me with the Celtics. Okay, Golden State had them on the ropes, down by 16. In the third quarter, they couldn't miss from the 3-point line. And the first half, they were like what, 1 for 12, something like that, and in the third quarter, they couldn't miss. The Celtics ended up taking the lead. They were up by 5. And that half-court heave, again, by Poole, put them down by 2. But that was the start of the nightmare that the Celtics were fixing to relive once again. Because Golden State, before you can even blink, they scored 13 points consecutively in a row, and the game was over. And I understand that the Celtics are visibly upset, with the referees at times, because sometimes, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. The referees for both teams in this series has been terrible. They've been terrible on both sides for both teams at times. But the Celtics have got to learn, and they haven't learned clearly yet. And they're finally admitting it after game 5. When your back is against the wall, you're down 3-2, going back to Boston. Can you win a game 6? Yes, it's possible. Anything is possible. Like Kevin Garnett said after the 08 Celtics beat the 08 Lakers in that finals. Anything is possible in the world of sports, but you have to start early, and you got to come with a better game plan, because in that game 5, the entire bench, we're not even counting garbage time. We're talking reel to reel, the real reserves for both teams. The Golden State Warriors bench outscored the Celtics bench 29-4. 29-4. The Celtics bench has been inconsistent in these finals. And these role players theoretically do play better at home, but that's saying a lot. You got to go out there and do it, because Al Horford's got to play better. Marcus Smart has to play better. Jaylen Brown has to play better. And it's clearly when Brown is flustered, nothing goes his way. When Tatum's flustered, nothing goes his way, because they let the calls get to them. Instead of playing through adversity when your back is against the wall. That is the mettle of the championship team. Because look at the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl against the Bengals this year. The Bengals held the lead 90% of that game. And Matthew Stafford said, guys, we got this. We're going to make it. We're going to make plays. You got to believe. You got to believe. And he got them the win. He willed them a victory. And so along did Aaron Donald in that Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes against San Francisco in Super Bowl 54 did the same thing. When he threw 2 interceptions, he didn't fold and give up. He didn't say to hell with it. We're not going to win the Super Bowl. He said, no, the game is still going. It's not over till the fat lady sings. And it's a proven, given fact that the Celtics in these finals have given up when they have. Because going back to Boston in game 6 with the hostile crowd on your side, they have to show up, because if they don't, Golden State, you cannot count on Stephen Curry, the great Stephen Curry, to shoot poorly again. The fact that they defended him so brilliantly in game 5, 0 for 9, like you said, from the 3-point line, that is not happening again. He's going to hit at least 4 to 5 threes again in game 6, but the Celtics have to show up. They can't have these turnovers, and please, Jesus God Almighty, shoot better from the free throw line. because missing 10 free throws is not going to cut you good. Because if you miss free throws like that, turn the basketball over like that, the inedible is fixing to happen. You are going to lose the game. And 2 out of the last games, for the first time since January of this year, the Celtics starting 5 has lost back to back. And they are in deep, deep trouble.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Joe?
I'm actually gonna pull a Kevin Rory here. When he was talking about in the chat about the
Hopefully
game.
your internet connection is better than his is. I'll say this much though.
I'm not talking about.
It's been flawless since the start of the show. So
I'm not talking about his Matrix internet connection because that's what it reminds me of. Anyway, my bad, Kev. But anyways, he made a really good point in our chat last night when he was talking about the game, saying if the Warriors can win by double digits without Steph Curry hitting a 3-pointer, they are in pretty huge trouble. And I 1000% agree with that. Because Stephen Curry, he has played literally lights out the first 4 games of the series, hands down, which is why whenever the Warriors do win Game 6, and yes, I said win, not if, when the Warriors win Game 6 Thursday night in Boston, Stephen Curry is going to be given the MVP. And if he doesn't, then something's wrong with the NBA. Because Steph Curry has been playing balls out, lights out.
Yes.
For all but 1 game in the series. And even in Game 5 last night, even though he couldn't hit a 3-pointer, he was still making plays out there. He was still knocking down mid-range jumpers, still laying in layups, still making crisp passes to wide open teammates.
Yep.
Steph Curry has been an absolute versatile playmaker this whole series, and it was actually time to give Steph Curry a little break to see what his other teammates could do, and they did not disappoint. Klay Thompson went 5 of 11 from 3-point range last night, while the rest of the team went 4 of 29. But I will say, though, one of those 4 3-pointers that the other team hit, like y'all mentioned, was the sinking hole for Boston. And yes, we're talking about the Jordan Poole buzzer beater that ended the 3rd quarter to put the Warriors up by 1 going into the 4th quarter. That right there.
Backbreaking.
That right there was absolute backbreaking for Boston. I mean, they saw that shot go in. Boston, let's backtrack a little bit here. Early in the game, Golden State was on fire, hands down, which is what we're used to seeing on their home court. Going into the second half, Boston was like, you know what? Maybe we can find a way to get back in this game if we stop arguing at the officials and actually start playing actual basketball. And that's what they did. Lo and behold,
hit 7 consecutive threes.
Exactly. Boston was up by 2 with a few seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And Boston was like, okay, we're going to go in the 4th quarter up by 2. Let's go ahead, do what we usually do in the 4th quarter, sink Golden State, go up 3-2, and take the series back to our home court so we can take the series in 6. But then Jordan Poole decides, you know what? I'm actually going to give the fans a little bit of excitement. And he hits a buzzer-beating 3 that Boston is like,
again? Really?
What?
Again?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
what?
And
What?
it was because of that Golden State was able to pull a Boston Celtic and take over the 4th quarter, which is what gave us the 10-point win for Golden State. And I'm telling you, it is that. And I've been saying this ever since before Game 1. We've all been saying this since before Game 1. whenever it comes early in the series, Boston is competitive. However, as the series goes on and on and on to 5, 6, 7 games, that consistency level from Boston dips down like no other. And we saw it against Milwaukee, even though they were able to pull it out, and we saw it against Miami, even though they were able to pull out the series. But seeing as how that Milwaukee did not have Chris Middleton, and the only offense that Miami had or has is Jimmy G buckets, they could have, if Boston wanted to, they could have sank the Bucks in 6, and they could have sank the Heat in 5. But they did not do that. You know why? Because of that consistency. That consistency
The
play
killer
by
instinct
Boston,
mentality.
it kills them. They do not have that killer mentality. And now they're down 3 games to 2 to a complete Golden State team about to play back on their home court, which, if I remember correctly, Milwaukee beat Boston on their home floor in game 6, and there was one other team that did it. Oh, yeah, Miami did the same thing. So, Boston, that lack of consistency is killing them, and it is going to kill them to the sense that Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Steve Kerr, they're going to be looking at the NBA Finals trophy and lifting it in high spirits come Thursday night. The Warriors are taking game 6, shutting this series out 4 games to 2, and going back to the Bay Area as your 2022 NBA champs. I'm saying it here, right now.
And you know what? I got a couple points to add. I find it funny because remember before this series started, I sat up here 2 weeks ago and I said I'm going with Golden State in 6. And I got the games a little mixed up, but I said they would split. I said it would be 2-2 going into game 5. Golden State wins 5 and they do something to demoralize the Boston Celtics. And damn it if they did going into game 6. That's really tough. And normally I don't got a lot of criticism for Ime Udoka. He's done a hell of a job this year, by the way. But the idea, and I can tell they're in a little bit of desperation mode right now because I was looking at the stats and stuff, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown played 46 minutes. This is not game 7. This is only game 5. You came off a back-to-back 7-game series, and now your stars you're so desperate for offense that Jason Tatum played 46 minutes out of 48. That sounds like what the Heat did last series with Jimmy Butler playing 48 minutes to do something. And Golden State, Steph Curry's just playing his normal little 33 minutes, getting his rest. And they made that run in the 4th quarter, might I add. Steph Curry was on the bench.
Yep.
Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson basically ran away with the game with their star on the bench. If Boston had Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the bench, they're getting blown out. It's just the way it is. Golden State has too much offense, and now I feel like it's like in the boxing world, it's a 10-round fight, and Boston's at the end where they know they're at the end, and they're just trying to swing for the fences, so to speak, with Jason Tatum playing all them minutes because they're desperate. They're desperate for something. And because the way I look at it, if Boston is not blowing Golden State out, like they don't jump on their ass like game 3 early and often, they're going to lose because if it's a close game in the 4th quarter and Golden State ain't got a lot, or Golden State still got gas in the tank, they're going to blow right by them.
Yep.
It's like a fast car and a slow car in a race, and the slow car's got a big, a head start. That's the only way you're going to win. And that's Boston right now. But the fact that they can't close people out, they can't perform under pressure against this Golden State team, man, this is worrisome. And yeah, we sit up here and talk just like Jeff Van Gundy said. Just because Boston had a harder path to the NBA Finals does not mean they're a better team. They said Golden State got some lucky breaks, just like all championship teams do. The Raptors got a lucky break against Golden State when Durant and Klay went out. Everybody has their lucky breaks. Honestly, like Jeff Van Gundy, I said, I believe even with a fully healthy Dallas team, Golden State wins that series. I believe with a fully healthy Memphis team, Golden State wins that. They just get discredited because of what happened. Don't mean that Boston's better.
Hell,
And
I
that's
still,
Whoa. Jeff Van Gundy actually said that Boston had a harder road to get to the NBA Finals?
No,
It's a bunch of bull.
I think what he's saying was because of they had, you know how everybody rides the Nets dick and all, and they think Kevin Durant, Kyrie was the best name since sliced butter, sliced bread, for crying out loud. So they feel, oh, Jason Tatum done did Durant and Giannis. Oh, Golden State just had to sneak by Luka with no help. Man, cut that shit out.
but
And
you know what, Kevin?
It's crazy.
You know what, Kevin? I also would say this too. Even if Phoenix would have faced Golden State, they still
Golden
would
State
have
would've
beat
beat them.
Phoenix. Come on.
That would have decimated Phoenix. And you know what? No disrespect to Monty Williams. I got a good suggestion for the NBA. I think, and this is a little off topic, but I think the awards and the all NBA team voting should be waited to be given until after the season to see what happens. Because to be honest, and this is me as a Warrior fan giving my utmost respect, but Ime Udoka should be the coach of the year. It's that simple. Monty Williams folded in the second round of the West, while you got other guys like Taylor Jenkins, who's probably been a better this year, which he did come in second, but he should have got the nod. Steve Kerr is obviously up there, but he's done won it and done so much success. They expect that. But Ime Udoka in 1 year, this is his first year, took that Celtics team who, from the All-Star break, they were sitting in 11th place in the East. From the All-Star break on, they were the best team in the league, for crying out loud. I think they should wait on that. And Steph not getting the All-NBA first team is absolutely fucking pathetic, for one. But you know what? Keep swinging. They should wait to the end of the season to give out the awards.
Yeah. And that's the one thing about Game 6 that's really critical for Boston is you got, like you said, Kevin. I mean, you got to come out very fast, and you got to punch them in the mouth and be up at least by 7, maybe 10. You got to have at least a 7 to 10 point lead to have a chance. But even that's harder to say than do, because I mean it's easier said than done, because Golden State can erase a lead.
You also got to have consistency on defense as well.
Exactly.
You can be up by 10 all you want. If you don't have consistency on your defense, you aren't able to guard some of the sharpshooters that Golden State has. And some of these great players.
And now they got to guard Wiggins too, because
you got to guard Wiggins too, who's a deadly threat. You got to guard in the paint. You got to guard everywhere, because these guys can, especially Steph Curry, who can shoot from any part of the floor and make baskets. Klay Thompson, who's good driving in and to the paint. You got Wiggins, who's good on the inside as well as the outside.
Yeah, and I've always said that Wiggins is a better upgrade.
You're not gonna. It doesn't matter how many points you're up by. You're not gonna get very far.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think Wiggins, to me, is the better role player on this team, better than Harrison Barnes when he was with them, because Andrew Wiggins is a better shooter, he's a better defender, and he's a better rebounder.
Absolutely.
Excellent player. I mean, stunning in Game 5, 26 and 13. Just incredible.
Speaking of Andrew Wiggins, I wonder if Jason Tatum is going back to his tweets from back in 2012 and biting his own butt when he said that when he started saying that Jabari Parker was better than Andrew Wiggins. Boy, I bet bite his tongue now.
Wait. Jabari Parker?
Yeah, Jabari Parker. Who's that?
Guy's not even in the fucking league no
fuck
more.
Is that?
Who the hell is that guy?
I do got to listen, guys. I do got an interesting stat since y'all want to talk about LeBron earlier. Jason Tatum has surpassed LeBron for the most turnovers in the NBA Finals history with 97.
Hey, I do. Before Randy, we get to you. Got to give a special shout out to some people in the chat. Tony Justice, Tony Justice from the Nation's Corner. All the people I'm shouting out are from the Nation's Corner. We got 2 of the hosts, as well as our good friend Trenda. We got Trenda in the chat.
Trend.
Of course, what's up, girl? Baby. What's up, girl? And then, of course, Debhausen in the chat as well. Debhausen, good to hear. Deb? We'll see you all in about an hour after the show is over.
About 90 minutes.
Yeah, in about 90 minutes, we'll see you. But it's all good. Thanks, guys, for joining. We appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Randy, go ahead. Your thoughts on Game 5?
Yeah, I'll make this short and sweet. it was almost a mirror. They're almost a mirror image of the Boston series of Game 4 and Game 5. Boston played the same game, got behind, third quarter, come roaring back, did it again.
Good
Lost
point.
the game again.
Excellent point.
And then,
ladies and gentlemen, he has risen. And no, I'm not talking about Jesus Christ, even though he is as old as Jesus Christ. I'm talking about Elder. Mongrovian Mike is in the chat.
Hey,
nice.
karate. Use your blinker.
Okay, continue, Randy.
Oh, that's all right. Hey, but I mean, you got to score, and Tatum and Brown gotta get some help too. I mean, even fake Klay Thompson scored more points than Al Horford did. So, I mean, you can't.
That is the greatest thing y'all talked about before the show started. The fact that this
you
goofball, this imposter,
you
scored
gotta get
more points than Al Horford did.
Yeah,
Oh, by
that's
the
right.
way,
Yeah,
by the way, I have another message from Mongrovian Mike. He says, AG1, number one. You don't bust it open. If you don't bust it open radio, you know about Dave LaGreca and his love for AG1 products. So check it out.
You good, Bubba?
Once again, Randy.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had. I just wanted to make that point. Tatum and Brown can't do it all.
Klay Thompson.
Hey,
That's all I had to say about that.
knowing that the Klay Thompson imposter scored more points, was scored more points than Al Horford did in the game last night. It reminds me of Stephen A. Smith's quote: "You can do that by accident in the NBA."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I saw on Twitter where that guy said that the fake Klay Thompson impersonator said it was worth $10,000 and getting banned to actually go out there and shoot all those baskets, which I would have to agree.
I cannot believe that.
You know what?
Yeah, that would be it for me. I'd be like, what's $10,000 at this point? I mean, if I had to.
A Warriors fan just helped his team
Listen.
win a championship, possibly.
Yeah.
Listen, here.
They should have let him be in the stat line. That'd have been great.
And now a quick shout out to our boy who's in the chat as well, R.A. Davis as well. Nation Corner representing hard today on our Nation Sports Show. Great to see you guys in the chat. Thank you again.
I do. Hey, listen. I do want to give a special update on the MVP voting for the NBA Finals so far, and this speaks on how inconsistent Tatum and Brown have been. Number 1, Steph Curry. Number 2, Andrew Wiggins. Number 3, Kevon Looney. Number 4, the Cowboy. Number 5, imposter Klay Thompson. Then number 6, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So imposter Klay Thompson is now
Get out of here.
MVP voting for the NBA Finals. Let's just keep it 100 right there. Imposter Klay and the Cowboy are in front of Jason Tatum.
Oh my
And Jason
God.
Tatum has the nerve to talk about Mamba mentality. Look, Kobe's sitting in heaven right now with his hands crossed talking about, don't ever call my phone again. Don't you ever text my phone again with this bullshit performance.
I cannot believe that imposter Klay Thompson is ahead of Jason Tatum. Oh my God.
It kind of looks like Klay Thompson and Zaza Pachulia mixed.
I would vote for him.
If I'm the imposter Klay,
Thompson.
if I'm the imposter Klay, guys, they're going to win this championship. Let's call it spade a spade. They're winning this championship. Just a matter of 6 or 7. But when they do win this championship, if I'm the imposter Klay, baby, put that bad boy in a jumbotron, baby, so he can give his thanks to Golden State for contributing to their championship win in the NBA Finals.
Lift the band to where he can.
Come on,
He is more dependable than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
He's
Good
more
job,
dependable than Jaylen Brown is against Draymond Green.
I will say, listen, I will say a statement real quick that is actually, I find that I'm gonna stand on, and it's what Shaq said on First Take this morning. They said if Steph Curry wins the Finals MVP, does that put him top 10 all time? You know what Shaq said? He's already there all time.
Yep.
Finals MVP
I believe
or
it.
not.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I believe it.
And Kevin,
All right.
I'll say
To be
this too.
honest, like I was listening.
That was
I
actually
was listing my
one of the quotes
top
I was
10
gonna
all
read
time,
after
and
we
he
get done
really
with
is. I would put him right now at number 9 or number 10 with a Finals MVP. I feel like he can bolster to number 7 or number 8. I really do.
Yeah, because this MVP talk that, he has to have it. No, he doesn't have to have it. But this should justify his greatness. But we already knew that Stephen Curry is a top 10 player in the NBA. I mean, he's the greatest 3-point shooter of our lifetimes. And this era especially. I mean, and just the guy is just. He has been the best player in these finals. And we keep saying this. Even if the Celtics win game 7, even if they take this to win game 7 and win the championship, Stephen Curry is still getting the NBA Finals MVP trophy. That's how great he's been in these finals.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. And by the way, Imposter Clay, sorry, he's better than Chris Paul. Oops, did I say that in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go again.
So let's not mention Chris Paul anymore. Because I can make about 100 comparisons that are better than Chris Paul in the playoffs, but I digress.
We'll be here for 2 hours.
I'll be here for another 3 hours, and no, we're not doing it again on
the tall boy is better than Chris Paul.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
LeBron James' receding hairline is better than Chris Paul.
Yep.
Hey, LeBron's hair is falling back more than MC Hammer in the "You Can't Touch This" video. Anyways,
wow.
Moving forward, game 6, of course, will be tomorrow, or no, it'll be Thursday on ABC. Of course, check the times and local listings wherever you're at. Let's get into let's keep the NBA discussion going with some NBA news to get to. We've had a lot going on because of free agency kind of almost starting up in a sense right now. Let's get into one of the big stories, and of course, a personal one for me being a Chicago Bulls fan, and that is this report came out, and that is that, according to Bleacher Report, that Zach LaVine is expected to re-sign with the Bulls in free agency, sticking with Chicago on a 5-year, $200 million deal.
Money.
He deserves it.
Yep.
For me, and I'll say this much, as being a Bulls fan, Zach LaVine deserves that big payday. He deserves it. He was one of the players along with DeMar DeRozan who helped carry that team to an Eastern Conference playoff berth. And he did a really damn good job. And to me, I think this is the money he deserves for helping build. He's been helping get this team back to some sense of former glory after dealing with what we dealt with over the past 10 years or so.
Yep.
So I'm excited once Zach LaVine is able to officially sign that contract when free agency begins. It's going to be an integral piece of the puzzle that's needed for Chicago to get back into the playoff picture next year in the Eastern Conference.
And him and DeMar DeRozan have developed a great duo in Chicago. I mean,
absolutely.
Oh man, I mean, when they're on fire, and they took Milwaukee to the limit, but Giannis Antetokounmpo, in Milwaukee was just a better team and a more complete team. But Chicago has a bright future in the NBA, and for years to come.
We lost Alex Caruso for a while. Concussion.
Yep.
Zach LaVine was on basically 2 bad knees.
He
Yep.
was able to. Luckily, they did get eliminated, so now he could get that stuff taken care of. And now, hopefully, we'll have a fully healthy Bulls team heading into this upcoming season, and we can make some noise in the Eastern Conference. I mean, it's gonna be a tough one, but I think we could do it.
Yep.
Other news I want to get into real quick is the rumor going around that we don't usually do rumors on the show, but the rumor is that the Hornets have expressed willingness to trade their number 15 overall pick and Miles Turner is on their trade radar.
And honestly, I see that to be pretty smart because Miles Turner could be the big man that Charlotte needs to attack the basket more and get those rebounds because they were getting out-rebounded quite a lot in the regular season. So Miles Turner could be the big man that Charlotte needs.
Yeah, that could be.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're about to lose Montrezl Harrell as well, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge loss.
Let's get into that real quick before I get into more trade news, before I get into more free agency news. And that is, of course, Montrezl Harrell was arrested the other day for having 3 pounds of weed on him. He originally had a small little baggie in his pocket, but then when they searched his car, they found a backpack with 3 pounds of marijuana, all in vacuum sealed bags. He was arrested. He was arrested there and taken into custody, where I believe he did bond out, but he could face up to 5 years in jail and a hefty fine for that much weed he has on him. And it also whatever repercussions that his team decides to go ahead and enforce. So who knows how that's going to go?
Well, all I got to say is I got 2 words for him. Good riddance.
And
Hey,
then,
wait a minute. Joey, I asked you the other day in the chat. I'm going to ask you again now that this happened. What the fuck is going on with Charlotte? Miles Bridges trying to play for money, and he's over there drinking purple syrup and taking pills on Instagram. LaMelo Ball.
How in the world am I supposed to know? I don't follow Charlotte Hornet news.
Michael Jordan is a clown in the office.
You sure about that? Because I think
great player on the court, but in the office, he sucks.
Don't lie, Joey. Your second favorite team in the NFL was the Panthers. Don't lie.
Yeah, we know.
Nope.
It might
Real
be
quick,
true.
even if the
Yeah.
Panthers were an NBA team, they would be like G League. But anyways, that's a whole different story.
Yep. But
let's,
Charlotte is missing a lot of that. Yeah, that's a huge loss for Charlotte if they lose these players. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely, I agree. Also another big thing coming out, via Jake Fisher on Bleacher Report, is that DeAndre Hunter and the Hawks have expected to agree to a long-term extension over the summer. Ooh. So they'll be getting back one of their key cogs too as well. And I'm looking at here we go. A report coming from the same person, Jake Fisher from Bleacher Report. The Bulls are shopping a package that includes Kobe White and the number 18 pick to teams around the league.
Interesting.
Hey Ezra, I actually heard about that, and I got a little proposal that you might be interested in with that I've been reading on Twitter as well. They're talking about with a sign and trade package, the Phoenix Suns giving the Bulls both Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton for those picks and multiple more picks. But that would fit good for y'all. A true rim protecting center with the Rose.
And it would be a huge loss for Phoenix.
Man, Chicago might end up being one of the top teams in the East doing that. I like that one.
And that's a huge blow for Phoenix.
I like the proposal. I like the proposal as well.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about? And I don't know if you were going to say it or not, but Bradley Beal already officially requesting a trade.
I was actually about to bring that up. That is actually a huge storyline because there's no telling where Bradley Beal can go. I mean,
he's so good. Just 2 years ago, he was
really
good. Listen. 2 years ago, he was competing with Stephen Curry for the scoring champion, averaging 31 a game. What some teams you guys think he could go to and make an immediate impact?
Imagine if Bradley Beal were to go to a team like Memphis. Imagine how much better of a team Memphis would be if they had John Morant and Bradley Beal in their backcourt.
What if he goes to Dallas?
I said that too. I got you one. I'll one up you, Steven. I'll one up you. What if he goes to either the Denver Nuggets with Joker or the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler? The Miami seems like more likely one because Miami can trade Tyler Hero and 2 first rounds and get Bradley Beal and maybe another role player.
Yeah, because
that would work.
Yeah, that'd be a good one because Jimmy Butler does need a second player that he could go to, especially if he's having an off night from the field, because Bradley Beal, for the most part, with the Wizards, has been very consistent. Even when John Wall was there all those years. I mean, Bradley Beal was the best player on that team. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, just a great 3-point shooter. I mean, great shooter.
I've always loved Bradley Beal, and the fact that, think about it, the Miami Heat were 0 for 15 their backcourt against the Celtics. They had Bradley Beal, they probably beat the Celtics. They're probably in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and that guy, Schroeder, whatever the hell his name is, missing all those threes. Just taking bad threes and just on a bad shooting slump. Bradley Beal barely goes on a shooting slump. That's how great he is. Him and Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry rarely goes in a shooting slump because that's how great Curry is. And Klay Thompson, same thing. Klay Thompson may go in a slump at times, but Klay is Klay. Steph is Steph. They're great shooters. They're going to find a way to get out of those slumps.
So how long is Ben Simmons going to be in his slump?
Oh, forever and eternity.
233 games.
Hey, speaking in addition to that for Bradley Beal, we were just talking about this. Actually, this will definitely delight one of the people here in this room. But imagine if a healthy Bradley Beal, or I wouldn't say healthy, but a sharpshooting Bradley Beal would join Zach LaVine in Chicago along with
DeMar DeRozan.
There you go, DeMar DeRozan. Imagine how dynamic of a big three that would be in Chicago.
That'd be pretty good. But honestly, I like Kevin's with Miami because Miami needs a true number two.
Miami needs a sharpshooter other than Jimmy G Buckets because they don't have it in Struss or Harrow or anybody else. They don't.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another quick news. This coming from Sean Devaney from NBA editor for Heavy.com. The Utah Jazz reportedly won a star caliber player, a young prospect, and picks in a trade package for Rudy Gobert. As one Western Conference executive tells Heavy.com, the price for Gobert is pretty astronomical.
There's a lot of teams that could use Gobert's services.
A lot.
Speaking of teams, we're talking about this whole NBA thing. There's a man who wants to own an NBA team.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
And that is possibly the greatest boxer of all time that runs everybody, Floyd Money Mayweather.
All right. He's got the money. He can sure as hell do it.
And I tell you where he can start. Go ahead and expand one and send Seattle another fucking team instead of taking what they had in Seattle and let Mike Tyson or let him own that one.
Hey, I would say one thing though. Floyd Mayweather would do an excellent job running an NBA franchise.
He'll do better than LeBron.
Other than somebody like LeBron who is now apparently a billionaire now, which I don't see why, because his basketball career is going down the tank, and not to mention his acting career is pretty much dead in the water. So I don't see how
just like his free throw percentages.
but I don't see how
come on, man.
I'm just saying.
LeBron, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what?
Did I break your concentration, LeBron?
I'll make some of these LeBron fans, if we have any of them watching, I'm gonna make some of the LeBron fans happy now. Listen. I'm gonna speak good on him because
sure you are.
After Game 4, he did take to Twitter, and I really respected what he said. Dwayne Wade had tweeted saying, "Everybody talks about what Steph Curry ain't. Well, let's talk about what he is, and he's a bad motherfucker." And LeBron retweeted and said that. He said, "Just because guys like us, we're different. People don't appreciate different because it's rare and it's greatness." So you know what? Hey, shout out to LeBron, paying Steph some respect.
The one thing he can do.
I guess
Randy Giron agrees too.
I guess
you guys hear me yelling?
LeBron doing a good thing every once in a while.
Do you guys hear me yelling?
No.
Thank God.
You were on mute.
Good. I was yelling at my.
I agree.
What were you yelling at? Kaepernick going to the Raiders?
God damn. Hey, I told you, man. If Al Davis was still around, he'd already been a Raider.
Oh no. I'll tell you.
He's going to the Commanders. I know that.
I'll tell you what Randy was yelling about.
Randy, were you yelling at your kicker missing the field goal again?
No.
No, don't worry. He's not Cody Parkey.
I ain't talking about Daniel Ice Cold Carson. He's the man.
Nah,
Man.
I'll tell you what Randy was yelling about. He was yelling the fact that Tom Brady's going to play another 10 years in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Especially next year, because that is the greatest fake retirement since Kiss. Come on.
No,
Yeah.
that's
No, Motley Crue. Sorry.
no. That's actually the greatest fake retirement since Mark Henry.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
the best
Sam
one
and
of all
Jack.
time,
But
man.
I don't want to get too much into a wrestling discussion. We got more news
Yeah.
to get to, guys. And this one is a very interesting one. Is that the New York Knicks have had internal conversations about bringing back Carmelo Anthony.
Ooh.
Oh,
For
boy.
what? The water boy? For the water boy?
Sure. Yeah, maybe.
Can I get you something,
They
sir?
might,
Yeah, popcorn
no.
and a drink.
If they're going to bring that marshmallow back, they might as well give Randy's cat a deal in New York. Let him play.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, if
I
that's
gotta
the
give him
case,
some
they
solid-
should bring Philadelphia should bring Allen Iverson back to the 76ers so he can teach these players how to actually practice.
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 Not a game, practice.
My cat will get him some good minutes. I know that much.
Your
Yeah,
cat would play 42 minutes a game in New York. They
Hey,
suck.
Oh, yeah.
Randy,
He's a
that's right.
superstar.
Randy,
Hey,
Kevin
Kev.
Harlan will call the next kitty cat touchdown, and it's gonna be your cat.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Touchdown, and the cat's in the end zone.
Hey, Kevin, you might as well go up there and shoot it for the Knicks yourself because you drop a good number of points out there. I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can. What Stephen A. said, I can accidentally score 2 points.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
There you go.
Uh,
Practice.
practice.
All right, let's one more thing, and then we'll move on to some other news from the wonderful world of sports. And that is that the Washington Wizards said that they have zero interest in getting D'Angelo Russell.
Aww. Come on. Oh, I guess being in Golden State for that short period of time is the honeymoon's over. Sorry, you went to a good team. No, they got
Yeah,
rid of you.
you
listen,
might-
as much as Golden State makes players look good, when teams realized they couldn't make D'Angelo Russell look good, then they made Wiggins look good after. The teams like, nah, fuck no. If they couldn't make D'Lo look good, can't nobody make him look good.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, speaking of a Russell, we might as well go ahead and say that, well, hopefully all these MCs like Russell. You talk about Russell Westbrook? Oh, well, we don't need him. He sucks.
he needs to stay away.
This is that I read that. It says that the Lakers are rumor is that the Lakers are basically going about their business, believing that Russ will stick around for this upcoming season.
Wow.
Why?
Yep. And
The Lakers are
gonna-
in that much denial.
And the Lakers are going to find themselves sitting on their precious little couch come NBA playoffs next year. Just
Yep.
you wait and see. Just you wait and
And-
see.
You know what? You talk about shit like that. Let's go into transition into the NFL. And of course,
NFL. Oh,
the
not that
main
one.
thing we
Sorry.
got to talk about is the drama continues for one Jameis, or actually Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson,
26
Deshaun-
cases now.
26,
Watson.
baby.
26 now women have now accused him of misconduct, which is congratulations, you broke that record. But now
He got the
unfortunately,
high score.
like,
He got the high score.
yeah, looking like now even more so that he's going to be in some serious trouble heading into this upcoming season.
Yep. And I went on that
Suspended
rant.
for a year.
I went on that rant back in what? March, something like that. And I still stand by it to this day. This first year is going to mean absolutely nothing. Congratulations, Watson. You played yourself into a
See,
fire.
and not to mention that, not to mention all the cases that he has against him. But how about the fact in his first pass in Cleveland Browns man, he gets
Oh.
picked off by
Oh,
the defense for a pick six.
That's awesome.
Same thing. Oh yeah. There was another quarterback who got picked up in his first pass for a pick six. What was his name again?
who?
Oh yeah, Russell Wilson. Woohoo! What are the odds?
Wow.
But
Should have let Sierra throw the fucking football.
Should be doing the 1-2 step when she does that damn ball.
What a reference.
Hi, you're welcome.
What a reference.
Yes.
Yeah, 1-2 step reference. Oh my.
Yes.
Who would have
Yes,
thought
baby.
that came out of your mouth, Steven?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. And I know I'm jabbing here, but the Celtics took a 1-2 step, all right. They took 3, 4, 5 steps as well. Every fucking travel call that wasn't called. I'm done. 3, 4, 5 steps, not just a 1-2 step.
Hey, you can't be claiming James Harden's moves like that.
Yeah.
Only James Harden's move is eating a 12-pack of donuts at a strip club.
We're going to damn McDonald's, eating 3 damn double cheeseburgers.
I'll tell
Dude,
you what,
stop
though.
with the fucking impression. By Sebastian Bach, by the way.
I'll tell
Anyway,
you, I'll
moving
tell you
forward.
what, though, that's just as fake as Randy Giron's screen name right now.
That's it. Yeah, fake.
You're to put fake Clay Thompson, Randy. You kind of resemble Clay.
Yeah,
Dude,
he's less Vader-esque. That's how we know he's fake.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Wow.
Shut up over there, Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl. Fake Dave Grohl.
Well, there goes my hero. Let's move forward.
Watch him as he goes.
Yes, absolutely. Let's continue on with more football news. Really, one of the biggest ones is that Lamar Jackson actually showed up to the mini camp.
Oh,
Despite rumors that Lamar wasn't going to show up, he did, and he's back practicing with the Ravens. And also back to more minicamp news. The linebacker for the Chicago Bears, Robert Quinn, he decided not to join the mandatory minicamp, and it says that his absence is not excused. Man, it sounds like school for me.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? The Chargers safety, Derwin James, unfortunately, is limited at minicamp after he had surgery to repair a torn labrum.
ooh.
Yeah, as well. So he's
Hey, Ezra, did you? I mean, I know it was last week when it was announced, but did we get the big surgery that Darius Leonard's going to be out until training camp with back surgery?
I don't think I got to that one, but that's good that you brought that up, though.
Yeah.
That's huge news. That's very huge news.
Yes, it is.
I'm actually kind of concerned about it because you got to worry about playing football with back injury. Like, I'm worried about if Darius Leonard's going to take a hit this year or, like, be able to fall off or still be able to play at a high level.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Another big news report in the NFL is Kim Bakula, who is the owner of the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres, underwent medical treatment for some unexpected health issues and unspecified health issues. So she's made, according to a report by Ian Rappaport that it was obtained by NFL Network, says we are very grateful for the progress she has made over the past few days. She has an exceptional team of medical experts at her side. We ask for privacy, and you keep Kim and your family in our prayers. So, all the best to Kim Bagula, the owner of the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres.
Definitely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And real quick, before we get into a couple quick other news notes, talk about well wishes. We definitely want to send our positive vibes and well wishes to Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
Jeff, unfortunately, the other night, made a mistake. Unfortunately, driving drunk on a suspended or revoked license. Was arrested for the third time in the past 10 years on that. He was bonded out at $3,500 bail, and his court appearance for today was canceled because he did bond out. I know they'll talk about this more on the Nation's Corner on Saturday. But Jeff will not be appearing on AEW TV anytime soon because he has to complete a rehabilitation program and maintain his sobriety. He's suspended without pay, and also Warner Media has pulled all promotion for Jeff Hardy going forward, as asked by AEW and Tony Khan. So altogether, real quick, I don't want to get too deep into a discussion because I really want to get going with the other sports news. But I want to say from all of us here at Nation Sports Show, we send our best and our most positive vibes to Jeff Hardy, and hopefully he can finally get these demons under control. Hopefully,
Yes.
after being pulled at gunpoint by the cops on the side of the road, this is a wake-up call for him, and we wish him all the best. All right, let's go ahead and let's roll forward, guys. We got some more stuff to talk about. Let's get into a little bit of baseball, and let's talk about the big news coming out of baseball, and that is the win streak of the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves won 12 in a row, looking to win 13. Of course, the wins came at a price. You lost one of your star players to a foot issue. Joe, since you're the lead Atlanta Braves expert here, you know the team better than I do. Talk about this huge winning streak that they have and the unfortunate injury to that star player.
Losing Ozzy Albies hurts because he has been one of the backbones to our organization for so many years. Mm-hmm. He, along with Dansby Swanson and Ronald Acuna and Austin Riley, they have really been the backbones of this Atlanta organization for quite some time now. And them coming off a World Series championship last year, their first since 1995, a lot of people had their hopes against Atlanta. And honestly, I don't blame them, because if there's anything to do, if there's anything in sports that's harder than winning a world championship, no matter what sport you play in, it's the fact that repeating that same success. That is the hardest thing in sports to do. And some teams can actually go out there and make it look easy. I'm not going to lie, they do. But Atlanta, they had their hopes against them for so long now. And now for them to come out after losing 2 out of 3 to Arizona, go out on the road and sweep Colorado in 4 games, then come back home and sweep the Athletics in 2 games, and then sweep the Pirates in a 4-game home series. Before this winning streak even started, there was a report going around saying that Brian Snitker, who was the manager for the Braves, he was pretty much yelling at his players in the dugout saying, "You guys really need to step it up. We are the defending World Series champions. We should not be playing like this." And I don't know what all was said in that locker room, but I'm telling you one thing, it has woken these players up. So, yeah, we're going to be without Ozzy Albies for about a month and a half, maybe 2.5 months, but he'll be back stronger than ever. But until then, we'll just have to rely on that amazing starting pitching we got with Max Fried and Ian Anderson, and not to mention the 2 rookies, Spencer Strider and Kyle Wright, who are actually doing a great job on the pitching mound right now. And finally, it is finally a good thing to say that one of the former aces of the Atlanta Braves organization, Mike Soroka, who has been battling injuries off and on for the past 2.5 years, he is going to be back on the mound pitching for us in just under a month. And honestly, I cannot wait for that, because with as long as Mike Soroka stays healthy, I'm telling you, these opposing teams better watch out, because Mike Soroka has an absolute killer of a breaking ball, and he can strike players out left and right. This Atlanta Braves team is doing so good right now, and if tonight is any indication that we're going to win 13 in a row, it's going to be for sure, because I just looked at ESPN, and right now in the bottom of the 3rd, we are ahead of the Nationals 7-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. So bring on 13 wins. Bring on 13 wins in a row. I hope we make it a 14 tomorrow. Let's go.
Unbelievable.
7-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Unbelievable. Those bats are coming alive at just the right time. And honestly, I'm proud to see it. I'm
Just as
proud.
ugly as the Yankees and Mets scored the other night. Jeez.
Ah! Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And the Atlanta Braves are playing great baseball right now. A lot of teams are playing great baseball right now, but it's going to be interesting to see how long the Atlanta Braves can keep this up, man. Hopefully they're able to make some. Hopefully this is not something where they win these 12 games.
And then they lose 15 in a row. I hope
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not. I hope not. Sheesh.
Oh no, not either. But real quick, for some other quick news, in I think baseball. I don't know if there's any big news in the world of baseball, but that pretty much covers it from my end on
That's
that.
the biggest thing to me because I mean the Braves are just riding this hot wave and this heat wave, and they're just playing excellent baseball.
And see, and not to mention, not only do we have a 12-game win streak, but we also have not lost in this entire month in June, and we are already heading towards the middle of the month.
Yep.
We have not lost a single game in June.
Well, there is some good news if you're a Mets fan, and that is that Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer both rejoined the team in New York while rehab progresses for both players. So if you're a Mets fan,
listen. I don't mean to cut you off there, Ezra, but as a top-notch baseball fan, all I have to say is it is only a matter of time before the Mets collapse again, because we see it every year. They start off hot, but then as the season wears on, they start falling apart, and before you know it, they're out of the playoffs. So we've seen it the past 5-6 years in a row now, and I don't see it coming to a halt this year. So it's only a matter of time before we see the Mets collapse.
And it's like the Mets, like you said, they start out really well, and then I really think they're pulling what Rex Ryan did with the Jets. Against the Giants, how the Mets are trying to be just like the Yankees, and the Yankees are clearly having a better year than the Mets are. That could very well happen. I mean, right now they're both pretty even, but the way the Yankees are playing, they're playing great, and the Mets, they cannot afford to go on a huge slump because that right there could really put them at the back of the line.
Yep.
Is that really LeBron in the Golden State Warriors uniform?
Oh, come on,
Piss
Kev.
LeBron fans off right there.
There you go.
Hop on the bandwagon, Anthony Davis. I meant LeBron James. Only thing he's hopping on is the back of the ambulance.
Anthony Davis is more fragile than a priceless French vase. Anyways, going back to baseball real quick, Yadier Molina made history. He officially passed Ivan Pudge Rodriguez for first in MLB history with pop-outs as a catcher, with catching his 14,865th pop-out.
Wow.
Wow.
Good God.
That's a stat?
Yep.
What?
No, for real.
What?
That's a stat.
Yeah, that's a real
What?
Oh my
most
Lord.
pop-outs by a
Crazy.
catcher. Here's the top five.
That's
You got
crazy.
Molina with 14,865. Ivan Rodriguez, 14,864. Jason Kendall, 13,019. Brad Osmus with 12,839. And AJ Pierzynski with 12,600.
Wow.
Wow.
My boy AJ Pierzynski from the
This
White
is
Sox,
in
baby.
the past.
Yep.
And then one other quick news note, and then we'll move on. We'll talk. And of course, we got to talk a little bit about the Stanley Cup playoffs. We won't take too much time. But real quick, another quick thing is Chris Sale said he's ready. He's eager to return to the Red Sox in any role. That's one quick little news note there. Also, this one, Golden Tate has officially now switched to baseball.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Tate signed for the rest of the 22 season with the Port Angeles Lefties, a Washington-based entry in the independent West Coast League. He's scheduled to
Wow.
start in center field for the Lefties on Tuesday night against the Bend Elks.
Mm.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Okay. Golden Tate's gonna pull a Deion Sanders. Okay, I hear you.
Okay.
We'll see
Okay.
how well it goes for him.
It's only a matter of time before there's a controversy on whether or not he caught the ball.
Yes.
Ah,
There you go, Randy.
Was it foul or not? Was it fair or foul? What he gets it or not?
At the end of the play, the call stands. Fair ball.
Dang it.
yeah. All right, guys, and
Place for referees.
yeah, absolutely. And then of course tomorrow is big because tomorrow starts the Stanley Cup Finals. The Colorado Avalanche take on the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Tampa Bay, third straight Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep,
Unbelievable.
third straight Stanley Cup Finals appearance for Tampa Bay. And Colorado's first appearance in a number of years.
Since
20
2001.
years.
Since
2000.
2001. So, yeah,
Yep.
21 years ago was the last time they were in it, which should be a very competitive series. And as you know, playoff hockey is the best type of hockey. So this is going to be a very competitive series between Avalanche and Tampa Bay. Of course, looking for a three-peat there, like Alice Cologne in the deathmatch tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But first game starts tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC, ESPN Plus, and other local stations. Check your local listings on that.
That is just impressive. I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning have been on an incredible run in the NHL. I mean, just the way they've been playing. I mean, they're just very, very, very hard to win multiple championships in any sport. And they got a pedigree unlike any team in a long time. I mean, just the hard fought games they've had to go through over the years. They were also swept a couple of years ago, and that right there, usually would derail a team, but it only made them stronger because going through yet again adversity. When you go through adversity, you got to go to the bad to get to the good. And and Tampa Bay is a testament to their greatness as an organization. This is their third consecutive Stanley Cup, and it won't be easy because Colorado wants to taste that championship and had a hold of that cup because they haven't been in the Stanley Cup Finals since 2001.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be hungry and they're going to want to come play with ferocity and passion. So I expect a great series from these two teams, and
I think it goes 7.
I think it goes 7-2.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to pick, but I'm gonna go Colorado. Reason why? I think they're gonna be hungrier. I think they're gonna be more determined than ever to get the one thing that's been missing from them and to really do good in the first playoff series in over 2 decades. So I'm excited for that, and I think Colorado's gonna pull it out in Game 7. That's just my opinion.
Interesting. I got Tampa Bay in 7.
Yeah,
as much as I would love to see Colorado win this series, knowing how Tampa Bay is in the Stanley Cup and knowing how good of a team that they can be in crunch time, my heart is saying Colorado in 7, but my gut is saying Tampa Bay in 6.
Okay. Yeah. I could definitely see that. But that's pretty much it on the NHL end. By the way, Avalanche have not named their starter for Game 1. Just as a quick reference. Let's move on to the last line of business that I know of, anyways, and let's go to a little bit of MMA. Let's talk about quickly. UFC 275. Great card. Judy Porchavska defeated Glover Teixeira by rear naked choke to win in the 5th round to win the UFC light heavyweight championship.
31 seconds to go in the final round.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That was a hell of a war.
Slugfest.
Teixeira, faces beat up. It was for Jessica. I mean, it was
42 years old. Come on. I mean, that is just incredible. I mean, to be still fighting at that level.
absolutely. I agree 1000%. Also, we had Valentina Shevchenko retain her UFC women's flyweight title over Talia Santos by split decision, 48-47, 47-48, 49-46.
So good. So good.
She's one of the best out there, truly, is Valentina. Also, Zhang Wiley defeated Joanna with a spinning back fist in a women's strawweight bout, second round. So there was some banger fights on this card. And also Jake Matthews beat Andre Fiallo also as well on the main card as well. There were some other great fights in the pre-card. If you missed any of it, you can catch it on ESPN Plus. If you want to rewatch it, of course. The next couple matchups are going to be on UFC on ESPN. The next at least two. And the next big pay-per-view will be UFC 276. Israel Adesanya will take on I believe it's Jared Cannonier. He will take him on, and then also expected to take place will be a trilogy bout between current champion in the featherweight division, Alexander Volkanovski, and Max Holloway.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Yes, that is absolutely coming up here. Hey, a little stat pulled up here from Joey Thornton on our social media, not about MMA, but about football. The top five defenses. Number one, the Buffalo Bills. Number two, the Green Bay Packers. Number three, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number four, Deshaun Watson's defense attorney. And number five, the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good. You know what? Honestly, sorry. His attorney should be number one. Defense attorney, number one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff.
Real quick on this card as well. Real quick on this UFC card as well. Brad Tavares will be on this card. Bobby King Green will take on Jim Miller. Uriah Hall will return in the middleweight bout against Andre Munoz. Jessica Evil Eye will return as well, take on Macy Barber. And Brian Barberina will have a little bit of a tough time as he takes on one of the greatest, ruthless Robbie Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
So
One
that
of the
card
baddest
is
dudes on the planet.
not only that, listen to this. Lauren Murphy will take on MMA Today's and throwing it down zone, Misha Tate.
Ooh, that'll be a pretty good fight too.
So, yep, absolutely.
Man.
Also, Sean Strickler versus Alex Pereira also on this card. This card is going to take place July 2nd, which is one day before my birthday, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
The same weekend as WWE Money in the Bank.
Absolutely. That's pretty much it. Anybody got anything else you guys want to talk about?
Oh yeah, LeBron sucks.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
Yeah, I gotta say real quick, this is funny, but at the same time, it's also kind of wrong. Speaking of Steven, you saying something about Money in the Bank, they have now gone out and created a new meme on Facebook, which I said is kind of funny, but at the same time, it's wrong. They're saying at Money in the Bank, it will be Jeff Hardy against Jimmy Uso for the DUI championship. Winner takes home driver's license. I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, it's wrong.
Way wrong.
That's pretty
wrong.
rough.
For that. Way wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bad timing, sir.
that's
Bad
going a
timing
little
on
too
that
far.
front. I mean,
That's
it is
going a
bad.
little too far.
It is bad timing, but
Hmm.
there is one thing we could joke about. The WWE. It seems like WWE's strategy to buy for people to get or people wanting to go to shows. It's receding quicker than LeBron's hairline. Let's move forward.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
I can actually agree with that because they had trouble selling tickets for this past Monday's Raw.
Bad
for some
timing too,
reason.
because I mean, for this pay-per-view coming up, or excuse me, premier live event.
Right.
But
still pay per view. Fuck them.
exactly,
Yeah.
pay-per-view,
Yeah, for real.
exactly. But selling, but Money in the Bank running the same weekend as the UFC in Vegas, not a good idea.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Not a
No.
good idea.
You're
They
not-
had- that's why they switched the venue.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why they went from T-Mobile Arena instead of Allegiant Stadium. So, but
Yeah.
absolutely, but that's pretty much it on my end. Anybody else got anything?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, let's wrap this bitch up. Let's do what we do. Randy, you first, buddy.
Hey, great show, great analysis as always. Thanks for having me here. And I want to be the first to say, I'm glad Steven's dad is doing well.
Out of
Yes.
ICU.
Yes, sir. He's been through hell and back, and he's on the ups, baby.
Yes, sir. That's
Very
great.
good news. Very good news.
Good to hear. And everybody have a great week. And as always, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Randy. Joe, you're up, buddy.
Amazing show with you guys. I love the announcements about the NBA Finals. I love being on here every single week. And yes, I want to be the second to say awesome news about Steven's dad. I know he's been through hell and back, but I'm glad he's finally on the ups, and I'm glad that he's finally doing better.
Yes.
And I did tonight by saying, I don't know who all is involved with the Commanders front office, but they need to get off their lazy freaking and sign the best player who we've had in the past 2, 3, 4 years, which is Terry McLaurin, and finally sign him to the long-term record deal that he is seeking for, because he deserves every single penny of it. So come on, get off your lazy rumps and sign Terry McLaurin. Crying out loud. Come on.
Yeah, they'll get him after they sign Cam Newton.
Not a chance. Not a
Yeah, that'll be the
chance, but
same day. That'll be the same day the Raiders get Kaepernick.
There you go.
Or when
yeah.
LeBron takes over Washington.
I don't know about that. But anyway, once again, another great show with you guys. I look forward to doing this every week. And all I got to say now is enjoy Game 6 and Game 1 of the Stanley Cup.
Absolutely. Kevin?
Yeah, it's been a great show with you guys. And like Joey said, I feel the same about the 49ers front office. We need to fucking sign Debo. But Debo has been in mandatory minicamp and in good spirits with Kyle Shanahan. So that's good news. And hopefully we'll get him signed within the next month. But anyway, it's a good doing the show with you guys. Good talking about the NBA, talking about my boy Steph Curry. And I also like to say before I go, I will confess something. I do go to the Dallas Cowboys page, and I always say that I always like to congratulate them on their 4 wins in the last 30 years in the playoffs, just so they can painfully correct me that it's only 2 wins.
Oh, Kevin's going there and giving us flowers.
My condolences.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, absolutely. Steven, you know the drill, buddy. Close this bitch out.
Oh man, what a great show with you guys. The analysis on the NBA Finals. I mean, all I can say is enjoy Game 6, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, are the Warriors going to win the championship on Boston's home floor? Can the Celtics force a Game 7? We'll have to find out. But either way, I'm still picking Golden State to win this series no matter what. And it's been a great show as always with you guys. And you can follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, everywhere else, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You know the drill. It's at the Nation's Corner. Catch the Nation's Corner live this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time, as they will talk about the world of professional wrestling, because Forbidden Door is coming up in almost less than a week from Chicago. And just all the great action that's happening in the AEW and WWE and Impact. Scott Slammiversary happening this Sunday in Nashville, and shout outs to Guido. He's going to that this weekend up there with his daughter, and hope to have a blast going to that. And also, before I cannot close the show out, if I wouldn't be remiss, I didn't bring up my dad again. I mean, he has been through hell for the past 2 weeks, and I'm so glad that he's getting the care that he's getting, because for the past almost a week, for the past 5 days, he has been off the ventilator, breathing on his own, getting better, had a CAT scan, went good, no stroke, brain is good on it. He's functioning well. He's responding, his speech is getting better little bit by little bit, but it's better to go positive than down negative, because it wasn't looking good. But he is a fighter. He is a warrior. And I know that he knows that all of us on this sports show, in the Nation's Corner, in the Busted Open Nation, the family, the friends, they know who they are. Everybody that knows my father, he knows that they love him. And I know he knows that as well, from all of us. I mean, I love him so much, and I'm so ready for him to be home. And it's been hard, not having him here. But I know that he's in good hands, and he's getting the care that he needs. And thank God he's out of ICU. I mean, just he's on the up, and no turning back here, baby. Just get home. I love you, Dad. And just a hell of a show with you guys, and looking forward to next week and talking about Game 6 and maybe a Game 7. Who knows what's going to happen? Enjoy the weekend in the NBA. Enjoy the wrestling. Enjoy the Stanley Cup Finals, and whatever else happens in sports and in life. Ezra, you know the drill. Close this out, my friend.
Hang on. I do want to point out real quick that speaking, we have a very special day coming up on Sunday, and that is Father's Day. So I want to be the first to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day. And if you have a dad or a father figure or any type of male fatherly figure in your lives, go out, spend some time with them, have fun with them, do whatever they want to do, and just have a good old time.
Absolutely.
Yep. Happy Father's Day, Pops, if you're still watching.
Yep. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. And my dad, God bless you. Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. I'll see you Thursday.
Miss you. Let's go ahead and move forward. Let's end this show right. Thank you guys once again for joining us. We've had a great show. It's been an awesome time. We got through a lot of coverage, and we'll continue the coverage next week when we get into the conclusion of the NBA Finals and the ongoing Stanley Cup Finals as well, along with all the other sports, MMA news, and even a sprinkling of wrestling in between. So, for Randy Giron, for Stephen Wyand, for Kevin Rory, and for Joey Thornton, I'm Ezra Vickery, and we will see you right here next week for another great edition of our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody, and have a great evening. Peace.